$30,000 in debt just to make $45,000 a year? Let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome back to the Black Student Blueprint. My name is Takara, and I am here to give you everything you need to know about going to school for free, or at least somewhere really close to it. So today we're going to talk about having so much debt in student loans, but then only making just a little bit of money after you get out of school over all the money that you've taken out in student loan debt. Now, I didn't have student loan debt, but I definitely identified with the only making a certain amount of money after you've paid out all this money for college. So let's get into it and talk about it. There are so many black students that are taking out so much money, so many loans in order to pay for school, and then they get done with school and they can't even get a good paying job. There is something here that is a mismatch, and it's not giving them any ROI, which is a return on their investment. Some of these degrees will not even help these students build any wealth, and nobody is telling them about it, and nobody is talking about it. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we talk about it here today. So I'm going to give you some examples here, and maybe that'll give you more of a real life thought process of, oh, here's what I need to do when I get ready to go to college. Imagine that a student takes out $30,000 in loans in order to attend a private college. When they get to the school, they decide that they want to major in social work. They graduate and they're able to land a job making about $45,000 a year, which seems like it's pretty good up front. But after all of the taxes come out of your check, loan payments now that you're going to have to pay for, and of course regular bills such as rent, electricity, all that stuff that it takes for you to live, you're barely able to cover any of that. Let alone, how are you going to be able to save for your future, for your retirement or anything else? Let's get into why this hits black students even harder. Because of the generational wealth gap, which we've talked about on this channel before, many black students don't have the financial safety net that they would need in order to be able to take care of themselves with a $45,000 job and $30,000 in student loans. So when they borrow for black students, it's basically really just a temporary setback. It might seem like it's supposed to be a temporary setback, but a lot of times it ends up being a lifelong burden, because now all of those student loans are still following behind you. What I want you to compare now is the student that took out the $30,000 in loan to a student who has financial help from parents or family members, and they're able to, take care of their rent and their electricity and other bills that they might have. That $45,000 for the student that has the help will stretch much more than it would for a student that has to do everything on their own. But it feels like that $45,000 is a trap if you can't really stretch that money out, or you barely have any money to do anything with after you get the job and everything comes out of your check. Let's talk about what most people don't know. Most families don't realize that there is a way to avoid this trap and not have to get into the debt trap. First of all, let's talk about planning early. So that's one of the ways you can definitely help yourself not get into the trap. But you don't know, or families don't know, that they don't have to be in this trap, because no one teaches them these things and no one tells them. So if you don't have the guidance and no one knows, how are you supposed to know? Many families don't realize that HBCUs will give you an automatic full tuition scholarship if your grades and your GPA and test scores meet certain requirements. A lot of times families assume that loans are the only way, and that's just not true. And because they assume that that's the only way, the assumption costs them. Let's talk about smarter paths which will give you less debt. So first of all, I don't do these videos to try to scare anyone. or scare the students. I am trying to give you information and knowledge so that you can be prepared and make sure that you are planning ahead for these things. These videos are to show you that you do have options, and there are other ways that you can make sure that you don't get into debt. Another way is to make sure that you look at in-state programs as far as schools are concerned. A lot of the times, in-state is way cheaper than doing out-of-state. There are dual enrollment programs, and if you know how to stack your scholarships, it makes a massive difference when it comes to making sure that you are dialing down that debt. If you add in local scholarships on top of the in-state tuition, apply and take part in community programs, that $30,000 debt can easily come down to $5,000 or $0. I hope that this video has made sense, because in the end, we cannot continue to do what we've been doing as far as taking on all of this student loan debt. That's what everyone else is doing, and you're not going to be like everybody else. You're going to be different, and you're going to follow the path to freedom. There are definitely smarter ways for you to go to college, and I am here to show you those ways. If this video has helped you, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified anytime I come out with a video with all these gems that I'm dropping here on this channel. Check down below in the description box for any resources that are available for you that will help you on your journey to going to school debt-free.